What's up guys, Sio here with week 1 of the NES Season 4. If you guys missed my draft recap, check it out in the description below and hopefully I'll have linked it. But I'm trying to go a little bit more offensive with my team this year. For the most part I like bulky offense, but as you can see I have a Cortana and a Mega Alakazam. So I'm trying out a new thing this season where I actually just kind of have a lot of natural speed and bulk, and I'm able to kind of play around with the speed tiers as well as bulk investment and stuff to kind of do what I want to do. So starting off this week, we have the Shakespeare Vulpixes, coached by Sammy Strange. She joined us part way through the last season, so this is her first draft, but it's a pretty strong draft in my opinion. And honestly, I was pretty scared of a lot of her team, while Umbreon specifically doesn't really scare me too much because I set up on it last season with Tapu Fini and swept. The rest of her team is absolutely terrifying. She also left behind, as you can see on the layout, Lycanroc Dusk, a Weezing, Mega Gardevoir, a Alolan Sandslash, and Rotom Fan. Honestly, Rotom Fan and Lycanroc Dusk actually did a lot to my team. I was pretty torn on the last member of my team either being Hitmonlee or being Electivire, because Hitmonlee resists Lycanroc and then Electivire resists Rotom Fan, and pretty much one walls the other, I guess. So I ended up going with Hitmonlee because Lycanroc actually kind of did a lot to my team in practice. Since this is the first week, I wanted to make sure I came out really strong, so I did like 10 or so practice battles. And overall I was feeling pretty confident heading in because I had a pretty solid strategy in mind, and it seemed to be working a lot in practice. So first up we have Scarf Cortana with Leaf Blade, Knockoff, Sacred Sword, and Aerial Ace. Max attack, max speed, Jolly to be able to outspeed Scarf Cobalion, which basically means that the only thing on her team that outspeeds me without like +2 setup is Superior. So Cortana can do a lot in late game sweeping. Then I have Mega Alakazam with Hidden Power Rock, Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, and Psychic. Modest special attack because it outspeeds everything on her team that's not boosted. So again, Scarf Superior is a little bit scary, but I wanted to be able to go modest and hit stuff a little bit harder. I have enough speed to outspeed that, and then the rest of it's just into HP, so I actually have like 152 HP EVs, which actually makes Zam pretty bulky, especially on the special side. I don't know if that really matters, but it's kind of nice, I guess. Then next up I have Leftovers Tapu Fini with Substitute, Calm Mind, Surf, and Moonblast. I was pretty torn on the coverage because I really wanted to run Ice Beam because she has a Zygarde, as well as Superior, but Surf and Moonblast seem to kind of hit more stuff neutrally across the board. And since Finny's pretty bulky and sitting behind a Substitute for a while, I figured hitting more stuff neutrally is probably better than hitting a couple of things super effective. But yeah, max HP, 220 special attack with Modest, and then a little bit of speed just to outspeed. I forget what exactly. I think Rotom Fan a little bit, if it's like a bulky Rotom Fan, I guess. Just to hit it with a Moonblast before taking a Thunderbolt, I guess. I don't really know, but I guess I didn't need it anywhere else. Next up is Leftovers Shuckle with Encore, Toxic, Infestation, and Stealth Rock. Infestation Toxic is kind of Shuckle's like main offense, I guess, quote unquote. And Encore's there to basically lock stuff into either setting up Stealth Rocks or trying to set up in my face, I guess, because Shuckle is kind of easy to set up. Like, for example, if she just leads Volcarona right out the gate and tries to go for a Quiver Dance against Shuckle, I can just Encore lock it and then switch into the appropriate counter, which kind of happens a lot, so I kind of expected her to lead something to just try a setup on Shuckle, and then hopefully get Stealth Rocks up, because obviously Volcarona would be pretty nice at 4 times, or to hit with a 4 times super effective entry hazard, I guess. And Shuckle's max HP and max FDF just to be able to take hits a little bit better. Next up is Leftovers Miltank, who, as I kind of made a video about, I actually swapped onto the roster again in place of Tornadus. I really like Tornadus, and honestly I kind of miss its speed tier a little bit, maybe making a move at some point to try to kind of compensate for it. But I kind of needed Miltank because first of all I needed a normal type to protect Mega Alakazam. I needed all 3 of my Miltank's abilities, honestly, because Thick Fat's going to help me with Kartana. Sap Sipper is going to help me whenever I need to take a grass type attack, such as Superior's Leaf Storm, which is honestly like almost all of the reason why I picked Miltank up again, because I needed Sap Sipper. But I also really liked Miltank in Season 1, and I figured it'd be kind of nice to bring something back from that roster. Miltank's a tier 3 now. When I drafted it, it was a tier 5, but I'll still enjoy it, I guess. But yeah, that's leftovers with Curse, Heal Bell, Earthquake, and Body Slam. Max HP, max defense, and a little bit of attack. Mostly meant to kind of just get a free boost on Superior. If I can set up a Curse, that's nice. If it goes for a Glare on me, I can just Heal Bell. It's kind of not really meant to be like a setup sweeper of sorts, more kind of just like set up in the middle of the game, be kind of hard to break through, maybe spread paralysis with Body Slam. And then hit the stuff that resists Body Slam with Earthquake, like Kabalion, and Jellicent, I guess, since I'm not, what's it called, Scrappy. So, max HP, defense, attack, and like I said, I wanted Zap Zipper because the rest of the team kind of really doesn't appreciate Superior very much, as you kind of gathered from the beginning part of it. And then finally, I have Misty Seed, Hitmonlee with Unburden, Poison Jab, Rock Slide, Close Combat, and Bullet Punch. I substituted Poison Jab onto this set at the last minute over Blaze Kick because I couldn't remember why I had Blaze Kick on there, but then I realized that Blaze Kick actually allows me to hit Superior and Kabalion, whereas Poison Jab only allows me to hit Superior and I guess Zygarde for resisted damage, but then it's a free switch into Kabalion. So out of anything on the set, I guess that's something that I wish that I would have changed at Team Preview. But Poison Jab's okay, I guess, because most of the time I'm just going to be clicking Close Combat to sweep. So, a couple minutes in, I guess. A couple of things I noted about the team that she brought. The only removal that she has is Defog on Superior, and since Volcarona is 4 times weak to rocks, Shuckle seems like a pretty safe lead. I am kind of wishing that I would have kept Mental Herb on Shuckle, because if she does lead something, they can taunt me, which she has like 3 taunters on her team, and Kabalion, Umbreon, and Jellicent. There's not really anything I can do, and I'm going to be forced to hard switch. Which is fine, because Tapu Fini kind of switches into all of those, so it's not really the end of the world. But I kind of wish I would have had Mental Herb just so I could get rocks up anyway. Kartana actually has the coverage to just pretty much sweep. If I get a little bit of prior damage on Zygarde, I can kind of just run through stuff with either Leaf Blade or Aerial Ace or a Sacred Sword. And then knockoff's good if Jellicent's still around and I'm annoyed by its item or something, I guess. Sorry, I have notes that I'm actually trying to follow now. So Mega Alakazam, like I said, and the preview outspeeds everything that's not set up. So while I'm not really expecting it to like sweep or anything, it is kind of nice to just kind of come in mid-game and either potentially punch a hole into Zygarde, or with its bulk it can actually probably take a Leaf Storm, at least if it's at neutral. Just because Zam actually does have some pretty decent special bulk, it's just not or it's like super frail on the physical side, I guess. So while I would not like it to come down to that, it might be nice to have that bulk investment. But like I said, Miltank's basically going to be my superior check for the game. Curse is kind of meant to scare it out, since Sap Zipper's kind of like hard walls the only thing it wants to do, which is Leaf Storm and set up in my face, I guess. And then finally, as you kind of gathered from the team preview, Hitmonlee is kind of meant to be like a late game cleaner. Like probably if Kartana isn't able to clean up, Hitmonlee kind of comes in after it, I guess, with Misty Seeds. Because it has the Misty Seeds and uses it, it activates Unburden, which allows it to get the Misty Seeds +1 Spadef boost. And then Unburden doubles its speed, so it's basically a +2 speed, like just for switching in basically. And then at that point Hitmonlee becomes pretty hard to kill. So a couple minutes in now, I guess. I'm gonna lead Shuckle, and I don't really care at this point what she leads. It's Jellicent, so I'm just gonna try to get rocks up. Like I said, she has taunt all over her team, so I kind of am forced to hard switch here. Like I said in the preview, there's nothing I can really do to Tapu Fini at all. So I'm gonna go Tapu Fini, set up Misty Terrain. She goes for a Scald, which can't burn me because of Misty Terrain, and it only does like 2% after recovery, which is nice. So at this point I can get a substitute up, even if she goes straight for a taunt, predicting me to be sub-Calm Mind or whatever. I'm still behind a substitute and it can at least hit something. The only way this play like kind of backfires, honestly, if she just goes like hard superior on me, but because Moonblast is a 2-hit KO, since I'm like max attack modest basically, or max special attack modest, I don't really know if she wants to do that, so I figure it's pretty safe to go for the sub. She makes a good play and just goes hard superior, which kind of forces me to switch out because I don't want to take a Leaf Storm and allow her to set up. Because I activate Sap Sipper, she doesn't get contrary or drops from, because she doesn't get the drops from Leaf Storm, it doesn't activate contrary to give her the boost, basically. And instead, I get an attack boost, which is nice because now I can either go for a Body Slam or an Earthquake. I might as well just go for the Earthquake because it hits everything. She does go Jellicent, so I kind of went, like, that was about as good as I could have done. But I might as well go back into Tapu Fini because, as we've seen, this does nothing and I basically heal it all back up and get to go back behind a sub. It is a little annoying because Misty Terrain's gone now, so I actually kind of have to sit here and make a prediction for a second. This turn actually went on for probably about a minute or two in real time, I'd say. So at this point I can either continue the cycle that I had and just go straight into Miltank. I can either make a really aggressive double and try to go like Shuckle or something, assuming she goes for a Glare, but I don't know why I do that. So I can either stay in with Finny and allow her to get the +2 Spit F boost or +2 Spatak boost as I go for Moonblast and then switch into Miltank. But if she has Dragon Pulse on this set as well, which is kind of common with Superior, I think it'll actually do an okay amount of damage at +2. So I don't really want to do that. Instead, I actually kind of want to sit here for about as long as I've stalled on this turn, and allow her to think that I'm going to try to make a really hard switch into something else, and then just stay in a Moonblaster and basically just get damage off. I think because that was neutral hidden power, that could have been something trying to catch Alakazam, like it's a hidden power ghost or something, I guess. During the battle I thought that was actually hidden power fire because it was a crit that still didn't pop my sub, but I just noticed on the sidebar that it took neutral damage, so I don't actually know what it was. But either way, because Superior is like really weak without a contrary boost, I managed to get a decent amount of damage off. It's still not going to be a 2-hit KO, so at this point I kind of want to switch, but at this point I'm also kind of committed to just attacking and wearing this thing down, because if I can wear this down, then Mega Alakazam has a better time, even if this thing is Scarfed. If she is Scarfed, I predict her to switch here anyway, so I might as well just get damage off. She ends up going back into Jellicent, which in my opinion kind of allowed me to start setting up a little bit more. Seeing as how I kind of switched into Tapu Fini on Jellicent a lot of the time, there was really no reason for me to switch out, especially since I was already behind a substitute. And especially since she got the special attack drop, I'm just going to go for a Calm Mind because now I'm basically at +2 special attack. And at this point I could actually set up another Calm Mind, and in hindsight I probably should have, because the worst case scenario, I set up a Calm Mind, she taunts me and then starts trying to pivot around. I end up actually just going for an attack here because I kind of just want to start taking kills while I can. I want to weaken her team as much as I can so Cortana can sweep in the back. She ends up going for the taunt, but at this point Moonblast into Surf kind of just kills anything, so I'm just going to keep going for it. Tapu Fini gets its first kill of the season. She ends up making a little bit of a confusing double here and going into Umbreon. That crit did matter because +1 Tapu Fini with the investment that I had to a max special defense Umbreon would only do like 60 to 70% or so, at least normally, but since I outsped anyway, I guess it didn't really matter that much because I would have just killed it the next turn. But at this point I kind of expected her to just go Superior, use a Leaf Storm, break my substitute, hopefully live and at least force me out into Miltank. But instead she goes Kabalion and kind of confusingly goes for close combat. I don't know if that was the best move she had to hit me. I don't think Kabalion would have lived anyway, but it is a little confusing. She went for close combat, and I think at this point she's just trying to weaken me and hope that Leaf Storm can kill. But I'm pretty content with just letting Tapu Fini sit in here and then letting Kartana pick up whatever. I'm not sure if that was a misclick. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, because I think if she would have went for a Leaf Storm into that Giga Drain, Tapu Fini could have possibly died. I haven't actually done the calc to see how much a Leaf Storm would have done to a +1 max HP Tapu Fini, but I think that into Giga Drain could have potentially killed me. But if it did, I was just going to go Kartana and Aerial Ace. So either way, it was a pretty solid win, I would say, to open the season. Tapu Fini, again, proving why I love her so much. I ended up actually franchising Tapu Fini from my Season 3 roster, if you didn't know. So starting off the season getting 6 kills with it is pretty cool. I am sorry I swept you though, Sammy, because I know starting the season off with a sweep obviously isn't encouraging, but I've also been there, so I know that you played well in the beginning, and then I kind of just got behind a substitute and it was hard to kind of pop through me, but you have a good team, so keep it up, I guess. Whoops, didn't mean to scroll. Next week we are taking on the San Diego Glissa Padres, who are a new team but a familiar face, I guess. We're taking on Fluka again. I actually helped him rebrand the season and designed his cool new logo that you guys get to see next week. So I'm pretty excited about that, because Fluka and I have had some pretty good close battles on the channel. It would be nice to beat him once or twice again, I guess. But have a good one, guys.